Hello, welcome to this 20-minute movement class. This class we're going to start in downward facing dog. So make your way there gently and slowly, and we're just gonna wake up everything in a nice chill downward facing dog. So once you're up there, keep the knees generously bent. Start by taking some nice, big, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and you're just sort of scribbling around with your body, or you can stay still, whatever feels more comfortable. Make sure all corners of the hands are engaged into the floor. Wrap your triceps in towards each other so your elbows aren't splaying out. All 3 points of the feet, so the pads of the big toes, pads of the pinky toes, and the heels are engaged into the floor, knees bent. And gently move around a bit. And gradually move your breath into Ujjayi breath, meaning in through the nose, out through the nose, with that restriction in the back of the throat. All right, so make sure you're feeling grounded here. And on our next inhale, we're going to come up on the toes. So inhale up onto the toes, and we're really rooting down into the floor here. The legs are straight. And then we're going to tuck the pelvis in. So pubic bone goes in towards the belly button. And then we're going to keep that train moving. So then belly button engages into the rib cage and you're slowly moving forward. We're unfurling. And then heart to the sky, tuck the chin into the chest, rolling forward, shoulders over the hands. And once you get here, the neck becomes straight, tuck the pelvis back, micro bend the knees, and exhale, push back, unfurling all the way back into downward facing dog. The last thing to follow that wave is your eyes, and they'll gently come down into a neutral spine. We'll try that again slowly. So inhale up onto the toes, shooting energy into the floor, and then tuck the pelvis, pubic bone into the belly button into the rib cage comes forward, heart goes to the sky, shoulders over the wrists, tucking the chin, and then exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, tuck the pelvis back, and wave back into downward facing dog. A couple more of these at your own pace, a little bit faster. Inhale up onto the toes, round forward. Exhale, lead with the butt, back. Inhale, wave forward. Exhale through the nose, all the way back. Now on your next inhale, you come forward into a plank, and then we're going to gently bring the pelvis down, roll the shoulders back. We're in upward facing dog. And we're just gonna get a little bit comfortable here. So swivel the hips around. We don't wanna be splaying outwards. So roll the shoulders back and down. Push the hands into the ground, including your index fingers and thumbs. And then on your next exhale, we're going to push up into a rounded high plank. Exhale, push up, tuck the pelvis, round the spine, straight legs. Inhale, unravel into upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades are magnetized toward each other. Neck is straight. Exhale, push up into a rounded plank. Tuck the pelvis, round the spine, shoulder blades protracted, and then push back into downward facing dog. Good. On your next inhale, come up onto the toes in your downward facing dog. And on your exhale, swivel the feet so your left heel and your right heel are going out over the right side of your mat. Keep the left leg a little bit micro bent and plant that left foot and let the right heel come up off the ground and let that hip sort of sink down, straighten the spine so you're looking forward in between your hands, and just try and see how much you can add like gravity coming down into the butt, and you're just letting that right hip sink down, pushing the floor away. Engage that left foot into the floor. On your next inhale, round into a high plank. Exhale, come to the other side. So you plant both feet down. Left heel comes off the left side of the mat. Right foot plants down. Bring that left heel off the ground. Micro bend the right leg, and then sink that left hip down. So you're really twisting, but you're keeping those shoulders facing forward. Hands are pushing the floor away, and you're just letting gravity affect that left hip. So you're getting sort of a really nice twist here. On your next inhale, come into a high plank, rounded. Exhale into an unfurled upward facing dog. And then your next exhale, push up into another rounded high plank. Now bring the right knee into the nose. Good. Inhale, bring it back, pointing, upward facing dog with the left foot pressing back. And then plant that right foot down, push back into a downward facing dog. Good. Now inhale, roll forward into a high plank. Exhale, unfurl down into upward facing dog. Inhale, push up into a plank. Left knee comes into the nose. And exhale, push that leg straight back out, pointing the left toe, upward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, put that left foot down, back into upward facing dog. Good. Now, slowly drop the knees and roll with a rounded spine, dragging the hands towards the knees. Bring those hands up. On an inhale, lengthen the spine, open the shoulders, fingertips shooting towards the sky. Bring the rib cage down towards the pelvis so they're engaged and not splaying out. Belly button engaged to the spine. Exhale, bring the hands behind you onto your glutes. Inhale, heart up to the sky. Exhale, stretch back into camel pose. So you're pushing the hips forward, anchor those toes into the earth, and keep on every inhale, breathing the heart up towards the sky, roll the shoulders back and down, and on the exhale, as you push the hips forward, let the spine arch back. You can drop the hands down onto the ankles if that feels good, and keep that almost like someone's pulling your hips forward and your heart is shooting towards the sky. Toes anchored into the floor. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. On your next inhale, bring your hands onto your glutes, and then slowly sit your butt towards your heels. Let the spine straighten naturally as you come down. Now, bring the knees together. Grab sort of around the feet or the ankles, whatever's better. I sort of like to grab the tops of my toes, and then I let them slide forward. So then open up the shoulder blades and bring the face down to the ground. So your forehead's on the ground. And then just sit up if you can. Slide those hands to the backs of your heels. So that's like a nice handle for them. And then you're just arching the heart up towards the sky. Forehead pressed into the ground, or more so the top of the head. Try to see how much you can feel the back stretching open. Deep breaths here. On the next inhale, stretch a little bit further. And on your exhale, sit back down onto your butt. Bring the palms to the thighs and just take some deep breaths here. Blink the eyes open gently. We're going to slide the hands forward and come back into downward facing dog. When you're back in downward facing dog, bring the big toes to touch in your downward facing dog. Keep those knees micro bent. Pelvis is tilting in a posterior tilt towards the sky. Don't let the rib cage splay out too much. Keep everything engaged. Push the floor away. Wrap the shoulders back and down, triceps wrapping in towards each other. Gaze towards your navel and feel a little shoulder opening as you do some bounces here. All right, come back to neutral. On your next inhale, lift the left foot up, so vacuum suction it up. Keep the hips square and just lift that left leg up straight. Single leg downward facing dog. You can flex or point that foot, but if you're looking at it, you should see your pinky toes, so you're keeping those hips square. On the next inhale, bend that leg, that left leg, open the hip, and just let everything sort of open up, keeping your shoulders facing forward. Next inhale, bring that knee, left knee, to glue into the right knee, so you're still bent, so you're internally rotating your hip. Come forward, like almost rolling forward into a high plank, but you're not going all the way. And then straighten that leg, that left leg, crossing over. And just bring that arm up into a fallen triangle. Good. Stretch that right arm over your head. Inhale. Exhale, place that right arm down. Come back into downward facing dog with both toes touching. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Single leg downward facing dog. Exhale, bend that knee, open the hip. Exhale, bring that right knee into the left knee, so you're in an internally rotated, bent downward dog. Up onto that left toe, roll forward, so you're in this weird downward facing dog. Then swing that right leg through, straighten that leg, rest it on the ground. Left arm comes up, fallen triangle. Bring that left arm, swing it over your head if you want. Inhale here. Exhale, place that left hand back down and come back into a downward facing dog. Now, inhale, we're coming forward. High plank, inhale. Exhale into upward facing dog. Point that right toe. Now keep that right knee glued to the left knee and bend that leg. Then swivel onto the right hip and just place that right leg down. And then just chill here. Surprise. So we're just hanging out here. You can let the right ear rest on the right shoulder. You can bend this left leg if you want. Lift that arm up. Just sort of stretching out, rolling the neck around, waking everything up and enjoying this little stretch here. On the side, really sink into the right arm. Now pop that left hand down, rolling back into that upward facing dog. So the left toe digs down on the inhale, coming back into upward facing dog. With the right toe pointed, exhale, curl, knee to nose. Inhale, back to downward facing dog. Exhale, toes together. Inhale, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, unfurl into upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back and down. Push those hands into the ground. Left toe points. Then we bend it. Knees stay glued together. Swivel onto the left side. Drop that left hip down. Feel that stretch. And wherever that feels good, you land there.
And then just lounge on that left hip, rolling the neck around. Keep your weight on that left shoulder and just sink in. You can let your ear rest on your shoulder and feel it stretch all the way down. You can lift that right arm up. Do some wrist circles. Lift the right arm above the head. Come down, plant that right hand. Now we're swiveling back to upward facing dog. Point that left toe. Exhale, left knee goes to the nose, curl, 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 and back to downward facing dog. Drop the knees. And we're now gonna do some cat-cows that are just nice and gentle and at your own pace. So inhale, drop the belly down. Exhale, curl. And you can add movement to them if you want. So inhale, drop the belly down. Exhale, curl. Just moving however feels comfortable. So the next time you're in an inhale, go into your cow pose, and then just gently sit back onto the heels. Child's pose. Couple deep breaths here. Inhale, look up. Sit back. We're going to bring the feet forward. Plant the feet in front of you. Hands are coming behind your hips. And we're going to lift up. Lift the hips up on an exhale. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Shoulders wrap back and down. Keep everything engaged. Exhale, hips come up. Try and get them as high as possible. Knit the rib cage in. And then exhale, sweep the butt back. You can come through if you want to stretch the hamstrings, or you can just come back down. Exhale, come back up. And then inhale, sweep the butt through the arms. Stretch the hamstrings. So you're protracting the shoulder blades here. So you're not sinking. So you push, 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 push. Then swing back through. Exhale, feel that shoulder stretch. Hips pushing up, pushing up. Plant those heels into the ground. Inhale, sweep the butt through. Now exhale, come forward one more time. What we're gonna do is just walk the hands in a little bit closer to your hips, and you're gonna tip forward. Unless this hurts your knees, then do not do this. But if your knees can go over your toes, you're going to put your weight onto the fronts of your toes, the fronts of your feet, and then just sit your butt into the backs of your heels. So you're getting a really good shoulder stretch here. And gently bring those hands in again more, closer to you, and then press the knees down. So you're getting a shoulder stretch and a quad stretch. It's very delicious. If this hurts your knees, you don't do it, because you know your body best, and you shouldn't have knee pain in any of these moves. Inhale, come back, where you're tipping back. Exhale, stretch everything forward, shoulder and quad stretch. Inhale, tip back. Exhale, come forward. If you can touch the knees to the ground, you can do that. Inhale, come back one more time. Exhale, last time. Now inhale, come back. Sit on your butt. Legs out in front of you. Inhale, arms up. Rotate the wrists, give them a bit of a break. Rotate them, swivel them around. Now inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. I like to grab in between my big toe with my peace fingers, and then rest the elbows on the ground if you can. If you're rounded here, then you're bending the knees.
until you have a posterior tilt of your pelvis. And just holding those toes, nice hamstring stretch. Take some deep breaths here. On your inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come down forward. Really slow. We'll stay here for a few breaths. On your next inhale, place your hands down on either side of your legs and keep your spine rounded and gently roll up and then all the way down into your final Shavasana. Bring your legs out wide, arms out wide. Root your forearms into the ground so you can lift up your chest, wrap your shoulder blades back and down, and then let everything spill out. Feel your breath. Feel any tingles or warmth in your body. And be grateful that you took some time to do some movement today. Stay here for as long as you'd like.